said that, let's move to the next board where we are going to talk about repetition. What is the meaning of repetition? I have here two pictures. Picture number one is showcasing you the clear sky in the night, where we are seeing so many stars, right? And if you start counting them, star number one, star number two, number three, number four, number five, this is actually your repetitive task, or repetitive task, you can say, right? If you have a bowl filled of cereals, and with the help of a spoon, you are finishing it one by one, right? Means one spoon at a time, you are actually again repeating it, right? Repeating, you are filling these cereals with a spoon and eating it again and again. This is a repetitive job or repetitive task. Many times when you go to the office, you open your laptop, you start running some of the sites as usual every day. This is a repetitive task. And I mentioned when we started this program, this course, right? It is going to be great at the end of the program if we can at least automate some of the repetitive things. And you must be wondering that how, Mr. Vishnu, how I can automate this task of eating the cereals. I'm not talking about it, although it is also possible with the hand of a robot, right? You can program the robot and he will help you in eating the cereals, right? That could be possible. So overall, the thing is how you are going to simulate or simulate these repetitive tasks in the programming. Because if you are adding a number, right? Suppose a user is here and you are saying, Mr. User, I will give you a program which is going to add you two numbers. That is fine. Then this user is saying only one time, or can I add multiple times? I want to add two numbers, maybe 100 times. What you are going to do? Are you going to repeat the number of statements in your program? If that is the plan, that is absolutely not an efficient plan. You need to do something different. Because this is a repetitive task, you are just copy pasting the same code, and this is the not efficient way of programming. This is inefficient. This is inefficiency in programming. And that is the case, we need to have something which can help in which can help us, right, through programming to deal with this repetitive job. Let's see that, how to do that. So first thing first, what I'm going to tell you, let's repeat a job using normal, whatever we know till now. So as you all know that we can assign a value to a variable, for example, number one or number zero is equal to zero, number one is equal to one, number two is equal to two, and so on. Maybe I can give 223 also, here 10 also, whatever I want, right? But if I want to define 10 such number, it is going to take the 10 different lines of my code, which I do not want to do. Can I have something through which I can just use one single line to give values to 10 different variables? And I can do that, right? The whole sole point of this two lines of this program is that I want to print counting from 0 to 10, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, not 10, from 0 to 9. I want to write these numbers in this form. When I run this program, it should be like this. How to do this? First thing first, what I'm doing here is I have defined 10 different variables, but the approach is slightly different. Instead of using 10 codes or 10 lines of code, I am using only one line of code, num0, num1, num2, num3, num4. These are from num0 to num9. These are the 10 variables. And I have written 10 values. So basically, these values are going to be assigned on the basis of whoever is where. So this is the first position, num0. And whatever I have written here in the first position. So basically, this is at goes at saying num0 is equal to 0. It is not the case that 0 is matching this 0. No, 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 no. Basically, you can assign the num0 as 10, just like this, right? So this is just another way of assigning values to the variables if I do not want to use 10 lines of code. And now what I'm doing here is I'm printing all these variables. I'm printing 0 first, and then basically in the next line, I'm printing the 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. It means that I need to print all the variables num0, num1, num2, num3, num4, num5. But I need to make sure that when I print num1 after num0, it should go into the new line, and that is why I'm using the new line character, and you all know about it. If inside this print statement, inside this quotes, if I write \n, the meaning is that you should go to the new line. It is as simple as that. So the result of this print function is going to be, it is going to print num0, which is the value 0, and then go to the new line to print the num1, then go to the new line to print the number 2, then go to the new line to print number 3, and that is why I'm going to get 0, 1, 2, 3, right? But believe me, this is not the efficient way of programming. And the reason is, what if I want to have this counting till 1000? If that is the case, you need to define the 1000 variables, and you are printing those 1000 variables using a print statement. Although the work is done, you can do this program this way. And believe me, when you become a good programmer down the line, maybe 1 year, 2 years, by coding so many things, right? Then you start thinking in terms of efficiency also, that this program can be better done with this way, right? So I'm just saying this, that this is not the efficient way of doing the programming, this one at least, right? How we can do that in an efficient way, right? So first thing first, let's try to run this program, whether we are able to run this or not, right? So this is inefficient repeat. Let me clear the board, and here you go. If I run this program from here, it is printing, right? It is printing whatever we are saying. It is, the logic is working, right? But we can do this in some other way also, which is very, very interesting and easy too. And here I am officially explaining you the concept of loop, right? So basically what I'm doing, just try to understand, I need to print 0, right? Then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. I know I need to start from this number, which is 0. Then basically, if I add 1 in 0, then it is going to give me 1. It means that I need to use some operation, right? I can start with the 0. I can continuously adding it 1, and it is going to give me 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. But the whole sole point is I should stop when this number reaches to 9, right? To begin with, let's suppose say I have an initial value which is 0, and what I'm doing is I am adding 1 to this initial value, right? And before adding 1, I am printing this, and that is it. So what is going to happen? First thing first, 0 is going to be print, right? Because this is a print statement, because initial is 0. And then I will be adding 1, and then go back again to this initial value, which is going to print the 1. If you didn't get it, that is perfectly fine. But what I'm trying to do is, I want to start from 0. I want to add 1 unless this value goes 9, and then I stop. So basically, there is a condition that if this value, this initial value go 9, I need to stop. But before that, I need to add 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, unless it reaches to 9, unless it's become 9. If you do not get the last 30 seconds or whatever I said, do not worry about it, because I haven't started it. So I'm again saying, let's start with the initial value. This is the whole sole logic. Let's start with the initial value, which could be 0 in this case, and stop when we meet the condition, which is going to be 9, right? But how and where I will add these values to from 0 to 1 to 2, then 3, and how it is going to be 9? It means that I need to repeat the task. First, let's start with 0, add 1. And let's check whether it's become 9. No, let's add one more. Now it is 2. Let's check it is 9. No, let's add one more. 3. Is it 9? No, let's add one more. We are just repeating. What task we are repeating? We are just adding 1 all the time. We are adding 1 all the time, right? And at certain point, it is going to reach to 9. When we add 1 to 9, it is going to become 10. When Basically, my condition is broken, and that is why we are not going to do this operation again and again. So what thing I am doing again and again? I am representing that thing with this arrows, right? Whatever I have written in this orange box, I want to repeat it one again and again. What I want to do is print initial value. Initial value is going to be 1, suppose, right? Sorry, initial value is 0. So what I'm going to print? I'm printing 0. And then repeat and add 1 to the initial. Repeat means just repeat printing, but adding 1 to it, right? 1, 2, 3, unless it meets the condition. Very, very interesting, right? So I am doing again and again and again the same thing unless it is meeting the condition. But the left hand side of this picture, whatever is I have written on the left hand side of this line, is whatever we are discussing in the real life, right? Let's see how we can do this using the programming language. And believe me, it is very, very simple. I have declared a variable which is initial. The name of the variable is initial, which is equal to 0. To begin with, I just want to print 0, right? And then I am using this while loop. What is the meaning of this while? While says whatever you write after this, if this is true, right? Until this is true, right? Just execute the while block. What is the meaning? What is the block of while? While is in a statement. Why? Because because we have a colon here, and after colon we have to write down after 4 spaces, right? If that is the case, this is the indentation and this is the block of while. While statement is very, very simple. It says whatever the condition you are writing inside the while, if this condition is true, right, just execute the while block. If at any point this condition is false, just come out of that. What is the meaning? The meaning is very, very interesting. See, initial is equal to 0, and the condition I'm putting here is whether initial is less than 10. And of course, because initial is less than 10, so the first move, this value, this thing is going to be true. Why? Because initial is less than 10. I have defined initial value as 0. So what is going to happen? Python interpreter is going to execute the block of while. And what is the block of while? Block of while say print initial. What you are going to print? 0. And then the second statement in this block says initial is equal to initial plus 1. It means that 0 plus 1. It means that initial is going to have now the value 1. Once this block is executed, right, the initial is going to have 1 now. Then what happens? This initial, which is having 1 value now, is again going here to match whether this condition is true or false. And again, the value of the initial is 1, which is less than 10. Again, this statement is true. Why? Because initial is less than 10. Python interpreter is going to print, interpreter is going to think that it again need to execute the while block, and it will execute it. So it will print initial. Now the initial value is having 1. It is going to be here. And now initial is equal to initial plus 1. I'm adding 1 value to it. It means that now it is having the value number 2. What is going to happen next? I will be matching this 2 with the condition, right? So whatever you write inside, whatever the condition of the while, if it is true, whatever the block of while is, it is going to be executed. It is going to be executed unless this statement becomes false. If this statement is true always, the while you are under this loop, right? So when this statement becomes fast, just try to understand. At the third iteration, or basically the third cycle, what is going to happen? You have printed 1, right? Then again it will go. Now the initial value is 2. 2 is again less than 10. Again, it will print the initial, right? And initial value is going to be 2. The 2 is printed. Similarly, now what is going to happen? We are going to add 1 to 2, which is going to be 3. Again, we are going to match this, right, with this initial value again, right? This is the third time. And again, it is less than 10. If that is the case, we are going to write 3 here. Can you think that when it is going to be break? For example, it is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Suppose now the value of initial is 9 and we have added one more, which is 10. And now this 10 is going to be match again this, because while loop means once you finish the block, come back to the while again, right? Come back to the while again to check the condition, and this time the condition is going to be false. Why? Because 10 is not less than 10. It is going to be false. If there is false, the loop is going to be break. It will come out from the loop. It is as simple as that. Very, very interesting. So basically what is happening? You defined a variable, you match the condition. If the condition is met, this is going to be evaluated or basically executed. Again, basically you are going to the while statement to match the value because you have incremented by 1 or added 1 to it. It is going to check whether the value has become, it is less than 10 or not. Until this value is less than 10, this while loop is going to be executed again and again, right? When this condition is false, you will be coming out of it. It is as simple as that. So try to understand that program is so simple. Now with the help of this, we can print 10 numbers in very easy manners. See, here is my program, right? Let's run this program, but now we are running it through the while loop. And if you do that, it is printing 0 to 9. It is as simple as that. I would really like, if you have any doubt, any question, please do ask. But the thing is very, very simple. We are started with the 0. At the first, when we are coming to this while, it is checking the condition is true. If the condition is true, it is executing these lines. If it is executing this line, then basically initial value is going to be 1 from the 0 because it is adding 1. And then this initial, basically while loop is saying, come again back to me. Let me check what is there in initial. And again, initial is less than. So basically you can see it is going again and again and again into the loop unless this value becomes 10. Once it's become 10, this condition is going to be false. If it is going to be false, we are going to see only 0 to 9 number. It is as simple as that, right? Very, very interesting. Okay. So if I go back again there, if you have any doubt, please do ask, right? But why I have explained so much in this 4 lines of code, because this is very, very important to understand this loop, because this loop is going to be very crucial if you want to create some games. For example, suppose you are playing a game in which you have some powers, right? You are, say, Mr. Rahul, and you have some powers. If you have those powers, you can go to the first level of the game, then second level of the game, then third level of the game, and then fourth level of the game, right? And maybe to infinite. I do not know what powers of the games you have to move you from first level to second level to third level. But in such games, if you lose power, then basically you need to come out of the game. These are good with respect to coins also, because in some computer games you need to collect coins. If you have the coins, then you can play it, otherwise not. It means that there must be somebody who is controlling or checking your powers. If your powers are there, you can go to the next stage, otherwise not. You can create such programs very easily. You can create such logic very easily. For example, just try to understand that we have created an addition program to add 2 numbers. But what if this user is saying, I do not want to add 2 numbers only one time, right? Give me more options. So you have created a program which is going to add 2 numbers as many times as user wants, right? So what your program is going to say, Mr. User, would you like to add one more time? And user says yes, then basically repeat it. And again ask, Mr. User, would you like to add the 2 numbers again? If he says yes, again execute it. We do not know when the user want to say no, right? It means that we do not know that the user want to run this program for 10 times, 15 times, 100 times, maybe 900 times, maybe 1 lakh times, right? Maybe as many times as we want. We do not know how many times this program is going to be executed, but we know for sure that if user entered no, then basically we need to come out from this program. And believe me, while loop can do this. If you don't believe, let's see that in action. So what I'm doing here is, here is my program to add numbers, and then basically this program should ask the user whether he wants to add two numbers again or not. If user type yes, right, the program should let him enter two numbers again. The user can repeat this exercise as many times as he or she want to add two numbers unless they write no. Now, try to think that you are trying to program this real life situation, right? And it is going to be very, very simple. Just try to understand, right? So just wait for a minute. Yeah, sorry for this. So what I've done here is I have defined a variable, which is user answer, whatever the user answer. So to begin with, I have this value yes. And unless the user answer is going to be yes, I will run the while loop or whatever the block of loop or while statement. And while statement block is from here to here. Why? Because I have these four spaces. So these are my four lines of code, right? Or the block which are under the while. I am taking input from the user, the second input from the user, I am adding the number, I'm printing the number, and very, very interesting. Just try to see. I am writing here user answer is equal to, would you like to add two numbers again? Write yes or no. And if user say yes, then this user underscore answer value is going to be yes. That is, I will be going to match again with this while statement. And if it is yes, I will be again executing this block until I will be executing this block again and again until the user underscore answer value is yes. If user say no, then basically I will be again comparing it and I will be finding that user underscore answer value is no, and that time I will be coming out from this program. It is as simple as that. Mr. Yusuf Khan Patan, I am coming to you. Let me run this program first, and then we can talk about all the questions, whatever the questions come to your mind. So here you go. Right now, here is a program I am having, right? Sorry for this, I have made some comments. So what I will do is, let me remove these comments. I think you all know, if you do not want to run a particular line in the code, then basically you can do the, what we can say, you can do the hash, right? That will become the comment. So this is the program, the same program we were talking about, right? Very, very simple program. To begin with, we are having yes value in this, right? We are having yes value in this. And then what I'm writing it, that's the problem. Actually, I made some changes during the Hindi class. So basically, I need to write user underscore answer if this value equal to, sorry, yes, then run this program, right? And if I run this program, save this, and if I run this program, it is asking enter first number. The first number is suppose 23, the second number is 45. It is adding the two numbers and it is saying, would you like to add two numbers again? If I write yes, it is saying again enter first, two numbers, maybe 2 plus 3, 5. If I write no, it is coming out. So this is what I had in my mind when I started the class, and it is already 1 hour and 10 minutes on the Friday night. So I would say, if you have any doubt, any question, anything in your mind, please do ask. So I can see that Mr. Yusuf has a question. Please, Mr. Yusuf, please ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, Vishnu.
Mhm.
Actually, I missed the two classes. Okay, so I got some doubt related to the previous slide which you explained. While printing the two numbers, okay, instead of the plus sign, if you put the -2 and +1, how it will be logic here?
-2 and +1, where exactly? If you,
No, I'm asking you, instead of the 2,
huh?
if I mention the -2
Where
+1,
-2 and -1? That is what I'm asking.
in the initial equals to -2 here in the initial.
Okay, initial. Okay, if you are saying that it is going to be -2, then what is going to happen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It will work. It will work in this logic.
Yeah. So basically, if you write the initial value as -2, then it is going to print the -2 first, right? Then it will
Yeah.
add 1 on -2, which is going to be -1, then 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Let's try to do this. If you want, we can uh, because
Yeah.
uh, because we have everything here, so we can do it, right? So initial value, let's say we are having -2 because this is an integer, right? So
Yes. Yes.
let me and run this program. So you can see -2, -1 till 9, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Is it making any sense? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
perfect,
Got it. Got it.
perfect.
Thank you.
No problems. Anybody else? Any doubt? Means you can change the program whatever you want. Means what I can do is from now on, whenever I upload the class, I will add these programs of the 14th April, whatever I have make, right? But believe me, do not just copy and paste this program into your VS Code. And the reason is, see, these are just a simple program, and if you just spend half an hour, the syntax mistake, whatever you are going to do in future, believe me, those are pretty less if you do everything on your own. Having said that, okay, I have so many questions. Thank you so much, guys. Mr. Rahul, please do ask your question.
Vishnu, I wanted to understand the usage of bracket here, right? So while you write a
Ah, that,
program, we
actually,
use.
I have an habit of the previous programming language. So what we can do is we can remove them. But yes, in the print statement, you need to do because it's a function. Whatever the condition we have here, Mr. Rahul, we do not need to give any what we can say the brackets. Okay, let's try to run it once again. If you clean this, if you save this once again, let me run this, and there should not be any problem. Okay, Rahul.
Yes, but the usage of like curly bracket and the open bracket, like how are we determining where to use which bracket?
Where is the
Like you used in the previous program.
uh-huh. Okay, which program I have used is the curly braces? This one, right? No.
Yeah, right. This in this program you have used the
Huh.
curly bracket
So
here,
so
right?
basically, try to understand. This is what we have explained you in the initial classes. So what I've done is, see, if you want, see, print statement is very simple, right? If you write anything under the double quotes, whatever you write, it is going to be print as it is on the monitor. Okay, Mr. Rahul? But sometimes if you want to print the variables also, then you need to use this formatting statement, this number F here, this one. When you do this, you can write whatever the normal things you want. And if you use this braces here, right? If you write anything inside this, the programming language understand, the Python understand that this is just a variable. Apart from this, you can write anything you want. So do not get worry about these braces. This is just, you need to use them when you want to print the variables. Otherwise, the print statement is going to print whatever you write, right? Did you get?
Can I also use the other bracket, like the
No,
straight
no.
bracket?
This format, basically the F keyword, whatever we are using here, F word, this is the special function for formatting this print, right? We cannot use the other one. Maybe you can try, but I don't think we can use because that is for the list. We will be learning it later point of time. But believe me, till now, whatever we are using, anything, it is not that whatever means somewhere, some point in some lecture, I have explained that totally. I will never ever going to use anything in the program which I haven't explained. Do not worry about it. Okay. But if you want to understand anything else also, let me know in any program wherever you see a problem.